Greetings everyone. So in last lecture we have successfully gained the SSH access to RAMSys user. Now in this lecture I will show you some privilege escalation techniques. So I hope it's now clear. That's fine, it's something else. Okay. So let's just go ahead and log in as RAMSys. Now when it comes to privilege escalation, I would again say it can take days to escalate the privileges. One method is that you open the Metasploit console and you try to create a shell, and with this user you try to upload that shell and you try to get a Meterpreter session instead of a SSH session. You try to get a Meterpreter session and then you use get system command, which will try almost almost all the privilege escalation techniques for you automatically. That's a very good option, and we will be doing that in some other labs. So that's a very good and automated option. The second method is that you go and check each and every file. So for example, there is the var www html, and you say ls here. You see there are these files, upload files, upload directory, main.gif, main.gif original, and the index, and this directory which we found. So you may want to, let's say, do we have exif installed here, exif to main.gif.original, because we already checked the simple one. But what is there in main GIF original? Okay, there is no comment in this one. Yeah, so we don't find anything specific right here, right? So it's a huge amount of time consuming thing. We will go in this directory and we will see ls. Now we see 420 search and index, right? Let's go ahead and say curl index dot, or actually white curl, we can just say nano, or actually cat would be much easier. So I am like right here. Now like we can try to find, is there anything hidden in this page, or is there anything we can try. You see, search for username, it says this form right here, you can see if post key equals elite, then this thing comes, otherwise it doesn't comes. Then only this thing comes, right? So this is like search for username, and then form goes to 420 search.php. We're going to review the source code. So source code review kind of thing, it's a huge amount of time consuming thing. And there is this form which was taking our password right here, right? Let's just exit it because we don't see anything right here. We'll just see, actually we are just exited only. So let's just cat the 421. Okay, now 421 right here. If you just see the 420 search, if word get so it's gonna get user to search from the user. There is there is the user, there's the database on localhost running on port 3036. The database user root and password. Here we get the password as well, so root password. But as I said, privilege escalation can take days, so I spent last whole night figuring all of this. So this is the root user and the password. You can use it, but you cannot log in through this password. This is not a root user password. This is the database user root. So there is the database, in that there is a user called root, right? So the default user of the database. This is the database password, not the system password, right? So this will allow you to log into PHP MyAdmin and there you can try to upload shell from phpMyAdmin, right? I even tried all of these things in the like the privilege escalation last night, but that doesn't give a huge advantage. Even the Metasploit was not able to get system here. So when you use the this is a Metasploit shell, I generated it and then I uploaded it with the phpMyAdmin. Then I run that shell and I got a Meterpreter session, but Meterpreter was not able to escalate the privileges on this machine. So in that case, you are going to follow the privilege escalation cheat sheet. Let me show you how it looks like. It's a huge, big thing. Privilege escalation Linux cheat sheet, and the one from Got Milk or the Got Milk right here. This is the privilege escalation cheat sheet. Let it load. It's a huge page, and you know what I mean by huge. This is a huge amount of list of things you have to do to get privilege escalation. You see, it's so much data here. You have to go ahead and you have to check all of these things. Is there any unmounted file system with advanced Linux file permissions are used, kind of things? You want to check all of these things. So are the commands limited? You break out the jail shell. If the commands are limited, you like some things like that. And it's a really huge amount of things. By the way, this specific Python script where it allow you to swap a bash shell using Python, this is something which you can try first, right? This is something which you can try first. There are other things you might want to check according to this guide, so you have to follow this whole guide, and there is no guarantee that you will be able to escalate the privileges. In this specific case, I was wondering with the directories. So we don't have anything in this folder, so I moved back and let's see, there was also a folder called backup. Now the interesting fact was that this backup folders, by the way, there is upload folders and it is blank. This backup folders, the interesting fact is this is chmod 777. This is even executable. This is like we have full permissions in this folder. So there was something to look in it. Now I'm not saying that I went to YouTube, I went to Google and I saw the walkthroughs where the solution is in the backup. By the way, I saw the walkthroughs and I saw that after I cracked it myself. So like when I escalated the privileges myself. Now the thing is that there is a point that why not to see in this backup folder, because this folder has read-write execute permission for us. We do a ls here, and then we find a proc watch software. It's a binary file, you can just see marked in red, and you have a readme.txt. Now before explaining this concept, now here we are going to use a technique, and that technique, it can be like it has very a lot of names, but I like to call it as path inclusion. So path inclusion is like, let me show you something. When we run this proc watch, when we run this program, you see that it is showing us the PID, TTY, time, and the command used. Okay, this is showing us these all things. Now, if you are familiar with Linux command line, this is PS command. If you just run PS command, this gives us almost similar kind of thing, right? let's go back. Let's actually go to our home directory. Okay, and let's create a folder, mktir. I'm going to name it A. Let's move into A. Okay, and now let me show you a piece of code. So let's open nano a.sh. I'm going to make a file. Let's give it an interpreter. So we are going to use the bash interpreter. Now let me say ps right here. Okay, let's exit it. Control X, Y, enter. Let's give chmod 777 on a.sh. That's fine, great. Let's run a.sh. You see, like, is it the same thing which we were running in the proc watch? So it's almost similar kind of thing, right? So proc watch is working as this. Now the thing is that software development has some security precautions that the proc watch binary has not been implemented with. If we go ahead and edit this file again, you see I run ps command directly. But if I say bin/ps, which is the folder, so bin is the folder where the ps software, which is the ps utility, is hosted, and when we directly use ps, it just take it from bin. So if we just give a full path that go to bin folder and then use the ps command, control X, Y, enter, and now when we run this, when we run the script, it still gives us the same output. So the difference is that instead of running the ps command, like we are running the ps command like this in the software, but we should run it like bin/ps, like this. This is called as path. So we have to give an absolute path when we are developing the software. And this is a very good example of path inclusion method in privilege escalation. So we are going to use same concept. Let's clear the screen. Let's go ahead and edit this, and let's remove the bin. Let us assume that the developer has added the ps directly. When you say ps, how is our computer going to decide what is ps? Just run a command called echo $path. Press enter. It will show you a huge list. It may be different in your case. So when we run any command, let's say ps, ls, cp, cd, things like that, it check that is there any utility in user local bin folder. If it doesn't find that, it checks is it in user bin folder. Then it checks is it in only bin folder. If it doesn't find that, it checks in user local folder, then games. If it doesn't find that, it checks in user and then games folder. Okay, this is how it checks, and this is called the path. But in a path inclusion, we are going to add a path right here. So we will override all of this. You know, it will only check this and then this and then this if it doesn't find the file in the first path. We are going to add a first path right here. Let me show you how. Let's say ln-s. This is called as symbolic link. So we are going to link a path. So here we are creating a you can say a file. Okay, let's say I'm going to create, let's say, home a, or actually let's leave it. Let me create it as bin/sh. bin/sh. This sh is the shell. So what we are trying to get? We are trying to get either the root user or the root shell, so that we can do all the commands. We can like do anything on this machine. So bin/sh sh. This is the location I want it to go when it search for ps, right? Just press enter. Okay, it says no such directory exists. If we just add the king sign here, I'm sorry. Okay, it is giving an error here because like it says that no such file or directory exists because we are in the home folder. But if we do this thing in a folder which is not in our home directory, we can achieve this thing. So let's go back. We are going to go to var www ht backup, and instead of doing it with proc watch, I will create a folder called sorry, I'm gonna cancel it. I'm gonna create a file right here, so I'm gonna create it right over here, a.sh. I will see hash and question mark bin / bash. We are going to run any other command, let's say ls. Okay, so just for the sake of purpose, or even let's say cp here. Okay, cp is gonna work fine, or maybe move, and no, actually ls is fine, just for the sake of simplicity. ls will like list everything, so that's really fine. Okay, now I'll say control X, Y, and enter, and I'll even say chmod, and I'm just gonna give it executable. You can just give it 777 or executable. We just don't need that, so I just didn't give that. ls, it works, right? But I want to make the system, when I run ls, you run something else. So that is what we are trying to achieve. First of all, we will add our path here. Before that, let me just do that. We say that ls, actually let's add a path here first. So we say export path. Okay, we are going to add this folder, this specific folder, as a path, which I just showed you in the some minutes ago. Dot, which means that it's just like the current one, whatever, wherever I am, right? And then the colon, and then just give it the parameter, which is the $path. Now this is going to be the same syntax in each and every case. Okay, so export path equals. So this is going to be the same syntax. So if you want, you can even like note it down anywhere. You can remember it. It's going to be the same. If I just check the path here, echo path, now you see that before checking in user local bin or before checking in anywhere, it's going to check in dot, which is any directory which we are in. It's going to check right in this directory. Is there any file named as ls? Okay, it's going to check that thing. And in such a case, like it's going to check ls here. If we say ls, it first of all checks here. It do not find any ls here. Then it go to user local bin. It do not find ls there as well. Then it go to user bin, and probably it find ls out there. Okay, but we are going to include ls in this folder only, so that it finds ls right here, and then that ls will be pointing to this command a.sh, which we created. So we are going to create a link here that, let's say ln-s link, which is a symbolics of link. Whenever someone search for just add the command first here. Whenever someone search for ls, give him the shell. Okay, whenever someone runs the ls, give him the shell. Press enter here, and this works because now we are not in the home directory. Okay, this works. Now if you do ls, it will, instead of running the ls command which is specified in the user bin, it will find it right here only because we have created this link. It will find it here only, and it will then run, instead of running the ls command, it will run the bin.sh. right? Now how do we run this ls command? We can directly run it, and you see illegal operation. Oh, that's really fine. Maybe we have some syntax error, but if we just say, if we want to run the a.sh, okay, now it gives us the shell. You see, this is a shell. Now I can do anything here, like it's not gonna work. I can do, let's say, pwd. You see, it works, right? It's a shell. I can just say exit here, and it brings me back to the backup, right? It was a shell. How did we got this shell? We said that give bin.sh when someone runs ls. This is how we create a link for the ls to bin. But how do we run the ls command? We run the ls command using the script which is a.sh, because in a.sh, if you just see the content of this file, we added the command ls here. Am I right? So if we just go ahead and see nano a.sh, you see ls here, but a good developer will say bin/sh, giving the file path directly. Let's say control X, let's say control X, Y, enter. Now even if you run the a.sh, it will not give you the shell. You see, only ls command works, because in this case we have specified that you have to use bin and then the ls. So there is no path involved here. So if you just like, it's not gonna check in this and this and this. It's directly going to go to user bin, basically the bin, not the user bin. It's directly going to go to the bin, and then it will check for ls in that. So we just omitted this thing totally. Now this is this is how to secure your applications for being the path inclusion privilege escalation technique. Otherwise, in this case, the proc watch, it is running the command ps, right? It is running the ps. Let's clear the screen, and I'm gonna run this. So it's running the proc watch is running the command ps, and that ps has not been specified as a path. Okay, so we can just go ahead and try to create a link ln-s. Now remember, we have already included the path, so first of all it will check in this directory, then it will check in others, right? So export path equals dot and then a colon and $path. Okay, that's the syntax to export a path to the current directory. And basically this is a local path. So as soon as you close this terminal, let's say I close this terminal, I close the connection. When I open a new terminal or a new connection, everything will be resetted. Okay, so this doesn't save whatever. You can make it permanent with the different, you can say the different syntax of the exporting path, but that's a different case. We really don't need that. So we're going to create a bin/sh. We want the shell when someone runs ps command, right? That works. Now when someone will run proc watch, it's gonna run the ps for us. That ps will be first of all searched in this folder. It will find a link called as ps. That link will take it to the bin.sh. That bin.sh will give us the root shell here. Why root shell? Because proc watch is the software that is owned by root user, and that runs on the root user level. So this application is running as root. Rather, we are running this application, but still it is running as root. So that's the benefit here. If I just say proc watch, okay, I press enter, you see we got a root shell. How do you verify that? You see a hash sign here, pound sign. I can even say ID. You see, EUID equals root. Who am I? Root. This is the root shell. Now you can do anything here. That is how you escalate your privileges from a software or a binary or a script that runs as a root. You don't have any permission to modify that, but instead of modifying the code in that binary or script or software, whatever it is, instead of modifying that that commands or that code in the software itself, we modified the path. So this was the thing. If the software developer has forget to include the full path, and he is just like me, which, like, you know, the lazy persons who don't even care about adding the path, then we can use this method to include the local path here. And that is how we escalate privileges on this machine.